Hey everybody, reading this week from the Yogavasistha, specifically the story of Suraghu and Parnada. Um, the Yogavasistha is a collection of stories loosely based around a framework of the sage Yogavasistha explaining to Lord Rama, young Lord Rama, his true nature um, and his purpose in the world. So both why he is of the essence of the Supreme Self, beyond all action, beyond all desire, and also why he is in the world. So it's useful to us. There are a number of interesting points that are made again and again in here. And here's just a short story about two kings, basically. So the story of Suraghu. In the Himalaya mountain range, there is a mountain known as Kailash. At the foot of that mountain there lived a hill tribe known as Hemajata, the yellow-haired. Suraghu was their king. He was strong, powerful, and wise. He was endowed with self-knowledge, and he was highly accomplished in poetry and literary art. Fatigue was unknown to him. He was just in his rule, blessing and punishing those who deserved to be thus blessed and punished. In all this activity, however, his spiritual vision became obscured. Suraghu began to reflect within himself, people undergo a lot of suffering on my account. Their suffering is truly my suffering. I should bestow riches upon them. They will rejoice even as I would rejoice if I became wealthy. Their joy is my joy. Alas, by alternately blessing and punishing the people, I am myself alternately enjoying and suffering. Thinking thus, the king was greatly distressed. One day the sage Mandavya came to visit the king. Suraghu welcomed the sage, bowed to him, worshipped him, and asked, Lord, I am tormented by the anxieties that the blessings and punishment that I inflict upon my subjects will return to me. Please help me gain equanimity and save me from prejudice and partiality. Mandavya said, all mental weaknesses come to an end by self-effort based on the wisdom which arises in one who is firmly rooted in self-knowledge. The distress of the mind is got rid of by enquiry into the nature of the self. One should inquire in one's own mind, what are these moods and modes and feelings that arise within me? By such enquiry, your mind expands. When you realize your true nature by such enquiry, you are not disturbed by exaltation and depression. The mind abandons the past and the future, and thus its fragmented functioning. Then you experience supreme peace. When you are in the state of tranquility, you take pity on all those who revel in great wealth and secular power. When you have gained self-knowledge, and when your consciousness has infinitely expanded, your mind no longer falls into the cesspool of this world, even as an elephant does not enter a puddle. It is only the little mind that seeks little pleasure and power. The mind abandons everything when the vision of the Supreme is gained. Hence, one should resolutely renounce everything till the supreme vision is gained. Not till one renounces everything is self-knowledge gained. When all points of view are abandoned, what remains is the self. This is true even of life in this world. One does not get what one desires unless the obstacle to it is removed. It is even more so in self-knowledge. When the sage Mandavya had departed after saying this, Suraghu contemplated thus, what is it that is known as I? I am not the Meru is not mine. I am not the hill tribe, nor the hill tribe mine. This is merely called my kingdom. I abandon that notion. Now the capital city is left. I am not this city, nor is it mine. That notion too is abandoned. Even so, I abandon the notion of family relationship, wife, sons, etc. Let me inquire into this body. I am not the inert substances like flesh and bone, nor am I the blood, nor the organs of action. All these are inert substances, but I am sentient. I am not the enjoyments, nor do they belong to me. This intellect and the sense organs are not me, nor are they mine. They are inert, and I am sentient. I am not the mind, which is the root cause of this ignorant cycle of birth and death. I am not the faculty of discernment, nor am I the ego sense. these being notions that arise in the mind. Now, what is left? What remains is the sentient jiva, the individual soul. But it is involved in subject-object relationship. That which is the object of knowledge or comprehension is not the self. Thus do I abandon that which is knowable, or the object. What now remains is the pure consciousness, which is free from the shadow of doubt. I am the infinite self, for there is no limit to this self. Even the gods, like Brahma, the creator, Indra, the king of the gods, Yama, the god of death, Vayu, the god of wind, and all the countless beings are strung on this infinite consciousness. This omnipotent consciousness is free from the defect of objectivity. It is beyond being and non-being, though it is the reality in all being. It pervades all beings in the universe. It is the beauty in all. It is the light in all. It is the essence of all forms and all modifications, yet it is beyond all these. At all times, it is all in all. It is itself spread out as these 14 planes of existence. Even the notion concerning this universe is nothing but this omnipotent consciousness. False are the fragmented notions of pain and pleasure, for this omnipotent consciousness is omnipresent and infinite. That is the self when I am awakened. When I am deluded, that itself becomes the king. It is by its grace that the body, the mind, etc. function. It is by its power that everything in the whole universe dances to its tunes. How foolish of me to have experienced distress at having to bless and punish. I have been awakened. I have seen all that there is to be seen. I have attained all that is worth attainment. What are all these? Pain and pleasure, happiness and sorrow, blessing and punishment? All this is pervaded by Brahman. Where is the justification for grief and delusion? Who does what? It is but the infinite consciousness that exists. Salutations to you, O beautiful God. Salutations to this infinite self. Vasistha continued. He's the one who teaches Rama. By such inquiry, Suraghu attained to the supreme state of consciousness. Never again did he grieve, but from that time onwards he performed his work, ever remaining in balanced state of mind. Compassionate, yet not uncontemptuous, not avoiding the pairs of opposites, and not jealous, neither intelligent nor non-intelligent, neither motivated nor non-motivated. He lived with equanimity and inner calmness. He had realized that all this is but the diverse manifestation of consciousness. He was therefore peaceful in both pain and pleasure, having attained to the fullness of understanding. Thus he ruled in the world for a considerable time, and then of his own accord discarded his body. He attained oneness with the infinite consciousness. O Rama, live and rule in the world thus with an enlightened mind. Hope you enjoyed it, and we will see you again on Saturday. Take care.